Okay, good morning everyone. So today we are going to have a GD. So we will start off with whatever number of participants. These participants means 10 to 12 will be there in your actual SSB as well. So treat it like as such. I am repeating the topic and leads. It's there in your chat box as well. Have a thought process of about a minute and then you can start. The Supreme Court of India has struck down the electoral bond scheme in its entirety and termed it unconstitutional. What, according to you, is a way out for political funding in India? A. The electoral bond scheme is a sham, as donors were found to purchase bonds around the time investigations were by agencies which indicate the government's weaponization to extort money from businesses. B. Use of genuine donations in cash or donations to trust can help funding. C. Electoral bonds will lead to an increase in shell companies. Data shows that a company donated an amount 100 times its profits. So it's not an option. And D, electoral bonds with full yearly disclosure on all entities, companies, or individuals who purchase the electoral bonds, who paid whom, will bring transparency. But electoral bonds are here to stay. Take one or multiple leads. Have a minute of thought process and then you can start. You can start automatically without me reminding you.
Yeah, so gentlemen, I really think that electoral bond scheme is a sham because the data which is provided by SBI, although it's incomplete data, but still it shows that the company which are buying multiple bonds or higher value bonds are favored by the government, be in terms of criminal cases against them by throwing that case into cold boxes or by giving them government contractors.
I agree to my former speaker. I would like to hear that add that we should increase the genuine donations as IT refund in terms of 100% donated amount to the political parties is exempted from tax. So I think we should use genuine donations in form of cash to help the funding.
Gentlemen,
Also,
I
if we
think
also
this
if we see
game,
the also if we see the information that has been brought up by the SBI, there is no proper information about who has purchased the bond and to whom they have paid. It is only about the bond. So there should be a proper series of information that should be there.
yeah,
Yes,
because
I
of
am
this
agree
anonymity,
with
the
my
number of
former
shell
speaker.
companies are also increasing. As we take the example of Future Gaming and Quick Supply Private Limited or Vedanta Industries, these companies, despite having a depth of around 600 crores, still were able to donate 100 crore to the government.
Yeah,
I agree.
which
Yes,
somewhere
I
shows.
am
Because
agree
there is
with
no
former
transparency in the
speakers.
electoral bond because the companies who are taking electoral bonds and the parties who are exchecking it, there is no clear view who is doing what. So it is because there is no transparency, and because of that, these are unconstitutional. These
So
bonds
I
are
think
unconstitutional.
funds are needed, but it should be more in a streamlined or in a transparent way, so that
Agreed.
our right to information should not
Electoral
get
bonds
violated.
with full transparency can be helpful to the government, and not to the government, for the people also, because very much clarity and transparency in electoral bonds will help people. But I don't think cash will help. Cash will help that much, because as we know that cash money will be used as a black money thing. And I think there is a need of systematic change in electoral bonds too, because as we have seen that many construction companies who donated in electoral bonds to to political parties are now are also related with construction of our Jozila Pass and some tunnels and some construction site, and also associated with the bullet trains construction in Bongdila.
So somewhere favoritism
So,
is
and I think
also.
Yes,
transparency should be
government
there.
came with
Also I want to
this
say
scheme
that
in the
if
year
we see
2017.
they have
2017 for
transparency
only
should be
generating
there.
money for their own political game. So in 2017, they made it through the money bill. So they want to circumvent the Rajya Sabha discussion so that it can be passed and they can withdraw lots of money for their own political purpose. So that is
Gentlemen, from
When this scheme was
2018,
launched in
Also, if we see the major
2017,
companies that
when
have
this
also means
electoral
the
bond
Violating the
scheme
Right
the
of
government
Information
started
Act.
till
so if we see
2022,
the major companies that are
12,000
buying
Should
crore
focus
rupees.
on for transparency.
12,000 crore rupees have been so far generated by this electoral bonds since it started
yes,
from 2018 to 2022.
correct.
And there are number of top 20 companies are there who are not listed even in SEBI. And one of the famous company is that is famous for gaming applications, Lottery
Yes,
King, that is from Tamil Nadu. And
Yes,
he has
because they will
generated
sell companies.
12,000
Yes,
crore
yes.
rupees of money. And they are just for the when income tax department or ED try to investigate such type of companies, then at that moment such type of companies fill the electoral bonds in order to escape from that investigation. So for
I
I
agree with Bhai.
think that the
yes,
fourth
also
lead, that the fourth lead,
also if we see the
there
major
should be
during
companies
a
that
that have
there
been
should be
investigation,
a
the gaming
disclosure.
industry
There should be a disclosure of the fourth
purchased
lead that
100 crore
every
of
year
bond.
there should be a disclosure in order to identify which company, which individual has purchased how much of electron bonds and to whom it has been given. It should be a open page. It should be a open book so that everybody should know.
Agree
For
with you.
as of
I
now,
agree
it
with you,
should be held up.
gentlemen.
We should more
It was
focus
the
on
mistake of the
transparency of the
government of
electoral
the
not
bonds.
major
informing
companies
the
that have
general
bought
As
public
we can
electoral
about the
bonds
also observe
government
that
recently, they
series,
are the
electoral
which
big
have a
bonds which can
construction
common
and
link
influence
between
telecom
the
companies.
the
donors and
government
who
policies and the
donated to whom.
internal affairs of any country. So we should focus on transparency of the electoral bonds, as Supreme Court of India also said that it's violating the Right to Information Act. So if there will be a transparency in electoral bonds, it will work for the government and the people, and through electoral bonds also there will be interference, and there will be some interference from foreign countries also, which can affect our regional
Yeah,
political issues and all.
I agree
Gentlemen,
Yes,
let's
with
not
rightly
forget
said
about
by
donations in cash.
rightly
It
said
does
by
not
Abhishek. If
mean
we
the
see
any
recently the
physical
major
cash.
companies,
The cash
the
can be
major
taken
companies
in
that have
terms
bought
of
the electoral
UPI or
bond are the
internet banking, which
telecommunication
are the
companies and
record, and it
construction
will provide
firms,
transparency to what we
which are
pay to the political parties.
Yes, so I think that the
As there
election
is no
if we
commission
see
should
transparency
have
recently
gone through
regarding
the
the
major
electoral
companies
bonds,
that have
this
bought
the
the
time.
people, the
electoral
citizen
bonds
of
are the
India
telecom companies
and
and
the
construction
and the
companies,
Election Commission
which
of India
which
is
are directly in
being
contact with the
Any
government.
benefit from giving too much money in the electoral bonds? So the election commission should notice that how much money is being given to which party and through which organization, so that no organization gets any undue benefit from these things.
yeah, because
Also,
money
some
is
companies
needed
have
in
bought the
elections,
electoral
right?
bonds,
For the
which are
betterment of the
having
people.
some ED cases on them. So that is also one of the thing. And if we see the main companies that are purchasing electoral bonds are the telecommunication construction firms, which get directly contracts from government. And so the thing is also there that the money is circulating around the
So, gentlemen,
powerful government and their
we
construction
can say
firms
that
and their sub companies.
electoral bonds are providing somewhere unfair field to the as it's favoring only the wealthy businessmen or
Of
wealthy
course.
corporations.
Yes, and
Of
I
course,
think
it
that
Gentlemen,
does
when
it
not
was
mean
the
that
brought.
the
everything that
particular
electronic
political
Electronic
party
voting
will
It
come
doesn't
to the
matter
government,
votes
they
votes
will
are
was
provide that
brought
electronic
that
brought
certificate.
they
in
are
India
purchasing
Or
lots
by
of
the
other
money
form
government
of
things
in
happening.
order
donations.
to
There is a
in
need of
order
money.
to curb
So
the
if
black
for
money
a need
and
of
the
money there
corruption.
is,
But
there should
as
be
of
a
now,
process
the
to how
government
to
has
spend
not
money.
been successfully
And
in order to
as
curb
we
the
can
black
also
money
see
and
that
the
in
corruption.
US and all, and
There was
As
a
of
prop
now,
by
the
Megha
opposition saying
Infrastructure
that the
Company
government
is
as
is
it's
there
using
worth
it
who
is
around
has
being used
got
400
for
crore.
their own
And
cause. So it is now it is being
within
proving
5 days,
that they
Future
are
Gaming
using
was able to
the
pay,
EDs.
donate 100 crores to the government. So somehow government is using this electoral bond scheme to extort money from the businessman.
so friends,
in
I
I
think
addition
we
think
to
should
that,
track this
there is
scheme
a
and we
company
should come
whose
up with
name
a
is
new scheme. If
Megha
we take the
Infrastructure
example of
Company that
foreign
is famous for
countries
the
like UK and
infrastructure
USA,
product, and
then there
that
is
company
a
has got
lady
the
called
order to start up the railway bullet system in
bullet
India, and
system
that
and
has
Jojila
also,
Pass. Jojila Pass
yes,
tunnel is
both
also
Jojila Pass
started.
and bullet system, but there is no scrutinization of that type of company. So for that reason, there should be a transparency, there should be a fully disclosure year on year basis by these type of corporates, by these type of individual or companies who are
And
going
it can
to
be done
pay
only when
how
the
much money to the
alphanumeric code.
politics, so that the common
Sandeep
citizen should be in the
Sandeep,
knowledge.
to your point, I have a different
definitely
opinion.
we
I would
all
say
agree
here
to
that
this thing
because
that
these schemes, the electoral bonds have been declared unconstitutional by the Supreme Court, the apex court. So I think we should take other forms of donations in the form of cash, UPI, or internet banking, which the PAN number and the bank has a record, and to which party you have donated the amount will also have a record. So in this way, we can do a government and
example of
genuine
foreign
funding.
countries
Supreme
like
Court
UK,
have
Also, the
USA,
electoral
is designated
bond were
The
introduced
third
for the
biggest electoral
transparency for
donor,
the
because
normal
it is
violates
called quick
the
supply
right of
all the
chain.
citizens
information.
of India.
If
But
we
It was
see,
accused of
we
being
go with the
subsidiary
full
of the Reliance
transparency and
Industries.
procedure of the
example
the
from
thing,
those countries.
then
The
it will
Reliance, so far,
it will
it has
become
denied.
constitutional, and it is very helpful to digitalization, because cash money in and getting cash money from other people can again come in the black money thing. So we should focus.
Okay.
Electoral bond is
Harshit,
okay, but
I am
Harshit,
agree with my former
I
speaker.
would like
Thus,
to clear
the
this
cash
that
money,
cash
as per the
donation does not
digitization of
mean
India is
physical cash.
concerned,
It also means UPI transaction and internet transactions. It does not only mean that you are paying by physical cash only. So if you pay through UPI or internet banking or through check, it will have a record in terms of debitor and in terms of creditor.
I
Gentlemen,
think
if
in
we
terms
see
of
the example of
electoral
foreign
bonds,
scheme
countries
was
like
for the
UK and
you want
USA,
to ask
then we can
which
see that there is a
electoral
limit
bond
on
scheme
how
was for
much
the
any
transparency of
individual or organization
transparency
can
for the
definitely.
common
donate to
people
any
of India,
party. So I
but
think we
it
can
is not there.
take as those norms also into our
earlier
country.
gentlemen, there was no record of cash,
No
no record of
organization
cash to
can
whom
take
it
undue
was given
advantage of
and how
giving
much
those
money was
money,
given
and
to
also
in
the
form of the cash.
parties don't
That's
So,
why
share
this
any
electoral
this is
bond
how the
scheme
political
came,
parties
and you
are
are now
defooling the
again
Citizen
telling
of India and the Election Commission of India, because they are using the fund for the political purpose, and the CPN is not knowing this. So
Gentlemen, I
this is
think
they are
electoral
defooling.
bonds should be there, but again with greater transparency, and so that we should know that how much money is being given to which.
Of
Yes, and
course,
I
yes,
also agree
when
that
earlier
the
what
such
government
scheme
electoral
should
bond
have a
scheme
certain
came
earlier
in
limit
all about the
2017.
bond,
Any
2017,
we
party,
are
it was
seeing
the
any
that only
mistake done by
clarity
the
does not
donation
matter
to
in
government of
any
this
not
other
informing the
election.
general
party.
public
There is
about
Also,
a
the
need
this
of
can
numeric
be a
public
code.
limit
funding.
It
on
was
the
done
There
by
is
extra
a
a
need of
limit on
money
how
burgeoning
much any
winning
party can
journalist.
to
spend on
promote
any
our
scheme. Like if we
agendas, to
take the
promote
example
our
of
everything,
UK, then there
and
is
to
a limit
for
of
advertisement
One
10,000
by
purpose.
one,
euros
gentlemen,
that
So
please.
any
there is a
party
need
can
of
spend
money.
on any
So
one seat.
we should
So
focus
if
on
we do
a
some
way,
such kind of
and
thing in
the
our
Election
country
Commission of
also,
India should
then it
also
will
focus on a way to
be
how to counter it.
beneficial, and it will also stop the undue spending from the parties and the central government. And if we also see, like, take the example of USA, so there is a limit on how much any individual or person can donate to any party through these schemes. So I think that there should be also a limit, and also see, we should not, like, if we give the names of all the persons who are giving the donation, then there can be like the parties, the ruling party can also try to
Overpower. Yeah, I agree with you.
Nowadays what gentlemen happened in the SBI, which is the custodian of the such type of electoral bond, there is a unique identification code. That unique identification has not been disclosed by SBI, which is a challenging issue. If we talk about the fourth lead disclosure year to year basis about the electoral bonds, then there would be a transparency, and with the help of that everybody come to know about the electoral bonds, and in addition to that there should be a limit on how much electoral bonds and how much donation can be done by a company, individual, or a corporate.
I
In
think
that way
this
the
should
I
transparency
agree
would be
with
the
my
But
I
brother
think
mate that
things should
who
be
told us that
taken back
there
which
should
is
be a
already
limit
taken as
set by the
constitutional.
Election Commission of India, and we have seen also in prior to 2017 there was a limit that any company cannot fund any political parties more than 7.5% of their income. But nowadays, after the electoral bond came, there is no limit. So the Election Commission of India needs to set a limit that a person or a company, they can how much they can fund to the political parties.
I
so,
completely
And
gentlemen,
agree
I
to
also,
think
if
Harshit
you ask
point.
the
amendments are
point, that
highly
one of the
required
most
in your
prominent
electoral bonds.
responses to balance these legitimate public interests in transparency and anonymity. So, if we take like many jurisdictions across the world, so in the UK, a party needs to report any donations received from a single source amounting to more than 7,500 pounds in a calendar year. So, if we do such kind of things in our country also, then the small donors will be safe, because see, small donors are likely to be the least influential in the government and most vulnerable to partisan victimization, while other large donors are more likely to strike more deals with the ruling government so that they can benefit. So I think that we shouldn't announce that who are the small donors, but we should publicly announce who are donating more than I think, let's say, 10 lakh rupees, so that there can be no undue advantage given to any large parties.
Yes, it
Also, the
can be, it
electoral
Agree
can be
bond
with you,
scheme
circulated
has
on
been
the
creating
public
an
and
domain.
I
imbalance in
think
the
How
there
much
should be
donation
the
that
transparency
information if we
politi
see.
that
political
it should
party
not
has
affect
got.
and not influence our election.
Also, the electoral bond scheme is creating an imbalance in funding. If we see the some companies are giving high funding to their parties to which they are connected, and if we see some parties they are not getting funded, so there should be a balance also in this.
Gentlemen, I
As
also
somehow
think
this
that
scheme is
electoral
causing
bond
threat
has
to our
also.
free and fair elections, as we don't know how much foreign companies are investing in these shell companies through which they are buying the bonds of larger quantity.
Gentlemen, I also
I
think
think the
electoral bonds have
foreign
also become a
companies and
way
the
to
foreign
change the
individuals should
policies.
be completely
By
banned
funding
from
the party, they can change the
donating
policy.
in these electoral bonds, because they can also influence the
Really.
Indian politics. So I think that the foreign individuals and companies should be completely banned from donating in these party funds.
Also, the electoral bond was made for the transparency of public to the government, but till now we can see that it is
So,
creating
gentlemen, do we need
transparency only for
another source of funding,
the
or
government in
electoral
power,
bonds
not
should
for the
be done
people.
with amendments?
Gentlemen, it is not at all transparent. It is unconstitutional, which has been already discussed in the Supreme Court, and the outcome has come. I think this scheme should be taken back, and we should have different way of donating to political parties.
Yes, that's why I'm saying that we should make a new scheme so that it is more transparent, and the small donors are also safe, and the large donors are publicly announced, so that there can be no undue benefit also. And also, I
Completely
think
agree
in the
with Kashif
2004,
point.
the Election Commission
As
of
the
India
Supreme Court
published
has
a
said
report
that this is
that
totally
all the
unconstitutional as
the
it has
parties and the election
avoid
parties,
Article
they should
19(1)
submit
subsection
annually
A.
how much funding they get. I think that if they
That
submit
is
the annual funding
right
they
to
get,
information
then
for
it
the
will
citizen.
also be more transparent.
Also, if we see the SBI is a government body, so instead of electoral bonds in SBI, it should be transferred to the RBI, which is an independent body, so it can create a more transparency. But if we see SBI, it is a government body
Transparency
and
over
can be
SBI.
controlled by the government
Also,
also.
gentlemen, the
Both
government
SBI
claims
and
And
that
I
RBI are
this
think
will
government
be a
entities
people
transparent
only.
should
scheme, but
also
it
ask
is
the
not transparent from the
political
day one
parties
itself.
whichever we are funding, that how you are gonna utilize the money. So
See, it should be the Election Commission of India who should get all the money, so that then they can give to the electoral parties. Then it will be transparent also, and there will be no undue advantage with the central government also. Instead of SBI and RBI,
I
we can
don't
give
think
it to
so,
the
gentlemen.
state
and
That
I
will
government.
think
make sense.
we as a people should also ask the government, whoever we are funding, that how you are gonna utilize money, because as we have seen that in USA, how the supporters of Donald Trump, who are funding Donald Trump, are asking about that how he is gonna invest that money in his political campaign.
Yes,
So I
gentlemen,
think
it
Yes,
should be
there is a
included in
need
the
of
new
people
scheme
awareness too.
that how the political parties are using the funds which they got in the term of donation. They should also mention how they are using the funds to the public.
So the solution for this is that all political parties have that type of web page, and it is openly available in the public domain. The political parties should have a tenure like in 4 months or quarterly basis, just like an audit. They will declare on their web page that such type of bonds with worth of 12,000 crore or 50,000 crore they have got from such type of company. So it will be available to citizens, and it will bring the transparency. And in this type, electoral votes will be disclosed.
Yeah,
and
gentlemen, I
also
really
there should
think
be a
that
limit on
transparency
how
should
much
be
any
the
party
utmost
can spend
priority.
on
I
any
think
seat,
Sanjay
because
sir,
we
to
have
bring
seen that
transparency, we
the
have
ruling
to take
parties, they
back
get
this
a lot
scheme
of
and
funds,
bring
and
a
they
new
do a
scheme.
lot of rallies in many seats. So I think that there should also be a limit on how much any party can spend on any seat, so that there is no undue advantage with the central government due to the more efficiency of funds.
I also think the need of transparency is there. As we take an example of a general common public, it's my duty to know in which company I am investing, and they are, despite of that, despite of in huge debt, they are donating such large amount of money in to the government.
And gentlemen, we know that our government can really show transparency because we saw what PM Care Fund, they have made a web portal for it, so we can clearly have a check on it. So it's not about we can't do it. It's lack of willingness to do it. So I
So
think
by the
transparency
electoral
is
bonds,
Yes,
the
very
gentlemen,
BJP
that
has
is the
BJP
last
has
stage of
accrued
the
around
electoral
6,000
bonds. If the
crore of
political
money by
party does
electoral
not
bonds,
accept the
and seconded by
electoral
TMC,
bond, then it will straight away
it is
go to the
1,400
PM
crore.
relief fund.
Huge amount of money they are actually generating for their political purpose. So transparency should be there.
So in conclusion, I would say the scheme should be taken back and there should be a new scheme of funding political parties.
Yeah.
Yes, and there should be
Then
many
Okay.
other
And the
transparency.
also
CPIM
like
leader, Sitaram Yechuri, has also said
elements
this,
like the limits to
filed
how
the
much
PIL
a
in the
party can
Supreme Court
donate, when any individual
regarding the
can
electoral
donate,
bonds.
and all these limits will ultimately lead to a better scheme. And also the Comptroller and Auditor General of India should also look into how much every party is getting the donation every year, and that should be made public so that there is transparency and the people know that how much every party is getting the funding and what they are doing with.
Okay, almost all points have been discussed. Thank you. Genuine participation was seen, plus innovative ideas also came up. And almost all points had their own pros and cons. So take this as one of the topics that you can do in your Google Meets, in your group discussions, daily discussions. Take this one of as one of the topics, and then we will meet next Sunday.